Time is 6:03, and let's get to some international headlines. Turning overseas to the Middle East, where Israel is escalating its war with Islamist militant group Hamas. Israel has halted food and fuel shipments into Gaza as its military wages airstrikes targeting Hamas strongholds.
Nearly 1,600 people dead on both sides of this fight, including at least 11 Americans. ABC's Justin Finch is following the latest from Washington.
This morning, Israel at war. Israel Defense Forces releasing new video showing its airstrikes. The IDF says they've taken out more than 1,000 targets across Gaza as it hunts down Hamas. ABC's Ian Pannell there on the ground as Israel's military moves south towards Gaza in what could be a step towards a ground invasion.
These are armored personnel carriers essentially heading up towards the front line. We're seeing a lot of men, a lot of munitions, and a lot of movement. This is starting to look really like a country at war.
Israel also imposing a Gaza siege, blocking food, water, and utilities into the Palestinian territory. Civilians in Gaza now scrambling to save survivors trapped beneath rubble and caught in the crossfire. Now coming to light, evidence the Israel attack had been months in the making. Video showing fighters training on motorized paragliders practicing their surprise arrival into Israel. The family of 19-year-old Karina Ashayev worried for her safety after videos circulated online of her being taken into Gaza.
She just wants her to come home back, safe and sound.
Hamas now claims to have more than 100 hostages and is threatening to execute a civilian hostage whenever Israel targets Gaza civilians without warning. A U.S. official tells ABC News the U.S. is providing intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance support to Israel's Special Operations Forces in its efforts to learn more about the status of those hostages.
President Biden is set to give remarks later today about the war in Israel. Meantime, the U.S. continues to surge military resources, including aircraft carriers and fighter jets.
Now, the conflict has left a group of Iowans stuck in Israel after traveling for a group tour last week.
Yeah, 29 members of the Gospel Assembly Church in Urbandale left for Israel last Wednesday with plans to partake in Christian Holy Land tours. Well, now, just days after their arrival, the group is now looking to come home as soon as possible. Head Pastor Glenn Goodwin and his group have spent hours trying to find a flight out of there, but with major U.S. airlines suspending flights to Israel, they have found themselves stuck for several more days.
Certainly a great surprise to the Israeli people. They were not expecting that. There were rockets that were seen. We could see the contrails from some of the rockets. We definitely hear the explosions. Still today, we can hear the explosions in the distance.
Pastor Goodwin also says that all 18 members in Israel have been booked on a flight for this coming Saturday that will bring them back here to Iowa. Until then, the group will continue to shelter in place in Tel Aviv.
The pain is also being felt closer to home. News 8 spoke with Alan Ross. He's the executive director of the Jewish Federation of the Quad Cities. He's calling this one of the most tragic days in the lives of the Jewish people and is having a hard time wrapping his head around how Hamas terrorists could kidnap and murder innocent civilians.
Many have been slaughtered in their beds, in their homes. And here's an example. Here's a family of 5. From one of the kibbutzes. 5, mother, father, twin 6-year-olds, and a 4-year-old, slaughtered in their homes by Palestinian Hamas terrorists.
Meanwhile, Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds is ordering all flags lowered half-staff through Sunday's sunset in remembrance of the lives lost in Israel.